fans, welcome to yet another episode of Tweet Up with the Celebrities. Today we have amongst us someone who's spellbindingly handsome, dashing and filled with fresh energy. Yes, he's someone who's enthralled his audience show after show. From Veera to Ye Hai Mohabbatein and now Kavach. Please welcome with us the supremely talented Mr. Vivek Dahiya.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for this lovely introduction.
Firstly, let me introduce you to our editor-in-chief, Mr. Mitesh Mehta, our graphic artist behind the lenses, Swapnil Shirke, and lastly, I'm your anchor for today, Charlene Lobo. Mr. Dahiya, so talking about you've been raised in Chandigarh, and from Chandigarh you went to pursue your further studies in England, and then you came to Mumbai to become an actor and a model. So how did these phases and places transform you as a person?
I think any experience, be it good or bad, transforms you in some way or another. However little impact it has on your life, but it does. I was born in a very middle class, normal, regular middle class family, and my father's a lawyer. My mother's a housewife. Growing up, like most students, most kids, they are not very sure up till the age of 18 what they want to do in life. I was the same. I did not have a direction. I did not. So everything that I did up till now, up till recently, I feel that it was all influenced by either due to my family or the peers, people around me, etc. So yeah, my father asked me to study law, and because since he's a lawyer, he wanted to see me as a barrister.
Right.
So he decided to send me abroad, and I went to UK. I studied first year of law in Cardiff University, which is supposed to be a very reputed university for this department. A year into the degree, I realized that it's not meant for me. I can't pursue this anymore because it was demanding, it was time consuming, a lot of hard work, So and again, my decision of switching to business was again ruled or influenced by my peers, my people around, because they used to look at me and they said, you study so much, and look at us, we chilling and we study business. So I said, okay, I want to study business too. So then I took a switch to business studies. I did my BBA, and then I started working in call center just to I have that extra cash on the side, which was my Matar Gashti allowance. So that went on for a few years. 3 years was my degree, and then I continued working for a couple of years after, and then I decided that business is something that I really started enjoying, and I'd want to go on to the next level. So I did my master's international business management. Then I worked for the local council, which is Leicester's Haringey. I mean, it's all sounding very boring and dull right now, but yeah.
Definitely not. It's really envious, actually.
No, so I think I was destined to be here, because despite of doing all that and working for a good 4 or 5 years in the corporate, I eventually had to come back, because in 2010 the government had changed. David Cameron became the Prime Minister, and he made really strict laws against immigrants, people who are below a certain salary bracket, wage bracket, would have to leave. So I was a victim to that, and I had to come back. And then I just when I felt that I'm getting there, I'm finally getting some clarity in life, it was again taken away from me. So I came back, and then I had nowhere to start. So completely lost. I went into depression for a little while, and I felt that ये universe की साजिश है मेरे खिलाफ, that phase, because I was still very young. So then modeling happened. I started working in Chandigarh, and then side by side modeling happened, and one thing led to another, and eventually I just came to Bombay, and I tried it's something that I wanted to do, but I'd always kept it at the back burner. I'd never wanted it to, it was my dream kind of, subconscious mind, but because I come from a background where professional background,
Yes.
so they give more,
Great importance.
they give paramount importance to
Exactly.
clarity, financial
Right.
security and clarity in life. So that's what happened.
So, talking about your life in England, so how was it? Was it very fancy? Was it low profile?
I think it was a combination. First few years were very low profile because I could not, students,
Right.
you can't really go, you can't really spend exorbitantly and you can't go all out. But when I started working, when I had a regular job, that's when I started, अपने वो होते हैं ना materialistic
Right.
जो wishes,
Yes,
your
yes.
bucket list started filling in after.
So, what were the bucket list? How big was it, or how small was it?
Well, it was a very regular, just like everyone else. I like traveling, so I started traveling, out of UK, wherever I could. Other than that, I rented a nice, flashy apartment,
Wow.
and I always wanted a nice car, a nice sports car. I got that, and it was basically that really. Nothing
So you
else.
mentioned about car, and I can spot that logo out there, which is
Yeah.
extremely fancy. So
thank
maybe we just show it to your fans.
It's just a mobile phone charger.
Yeah, that's a mobile phone charger.
Yeah, I'm fond of like small gadgets, and I've not got them today, but usually if you come to my vanity, you'll spot something or another. Like I've got this robot, which
Do you have anything currently?
not right now,
Okay.
not as we talk, because Film City I normally don't, So I've got this robot which is really cool. It listens to your instructions.
Oh.
Yeah, it can get you stuff like small things. It has it can pick on stuff if I need to. If I instruct him to get me like that shoe from there, it will.
Oh,
That's
yes,
amazing.
yes.
Amazing. So, in fact, in one of your interviews, you also mentioned that you're fond of PlayStation. So, what are the games you usually play?
I used to back in the days when I was in UK. I used to play a lot of that. Not anymore. Just the regular football and Need for Speed, Pursuit of, and just those are just the regular ones. Your Assassin's Creed and your Resident Evil. Yeah,
Famous ones.
yeah, the famous.
And you also, I guess, show keen interest in reading and writing. So, any particular poet or book or author you show keen interest in?
So there was, again, it's not something that I've done in a very long time. Paulo Coelho, I used to. I've read like 3 books of his.
Wow.
And then I started reading this book called Shantaram. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
David Gregory Roberts.
Right.
It's a very
Shantaram.
it's a very thick
Thick
book, but it's fantastic. I'm nearing the end now. I've not fully completed it, but it gets you hooked onto it. And when it comes to writing, what I do is I just write my random thoughts. What I started doing after I came back from UK, and I told you about that phase when I went into, I was subdued and I
Yes.
was aloof and I didn't want to be around people,
Exposed, yes.
that too much. So I used to get nightmares. I think, dreams are obviously like a fragment, a fiction of your
mind.
subconscious mind,
Subconscious.
right? So I used to get bad dreams. We all do during different phases of our lives. So one thing good that I did around that time was that I started penning them down. And then I realized that I can make a beautiful story out of it. So what you see in your dreams, you would never be able to imagine. Like the creativity is like,
Exactly.
it's another
Supreme
level. you can't even imagine the kind of colors you see in your dreams, the kind of backdrops, the kind of characters, like really random characters. It could be you, but with like your hair all up, but it's exactly like you,
Right.
you know. So it's just creativity, it just adds on. So I started writing them down. So with dreams, what happens is the moment you wake up, you have a memory of 3 to 4 minutes. So whatever you want to remember, you do that in your. So I used to keep a notepad by my bedside. I used to quickly jot my dream down and formulate a story around it. So that book's still lying at home, that notebook, and it reminds me whenever I visit home, you know. And if I want to go back into that zone, I quickly just read through. And I've made like some 7-8 stories out of, and those stories, I feel that one day when I am in a position to produce movies, then I would make a film out of those.
I think it's really inspiring, especially to all the writers and even the ones who are at least trying to write. Maybe they can start something out.
Yeah. I mean, you can. I'm not saying that they're going to be fantastic. For me, some of them are really good stories.
Real experience. Yes.
Because it's coming from.
Subjective.
Yeah.
It's coming from within.
It's coming from within. So there is no contamination or there is no false this thing around it. It's pure. It's very organic. It comes from human emotions, nothing else. So even if you don't want to take the entire story, I'm sure like writers would be able to benefit, like even if they take like fragments of it.
देखी है सारी दुनिया, जापान से लेकर रशिया, ऑस्ट्रेलिया से लेकर अमेरिका, but Vivek still loves things made in India. To know what? Catch our next segment where he talks about his professional and personal life. Till then, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Enlighten India. Like our Facebook page at Enlighten India Magazine and follow us on Twitter at Enlighten_India and Instagram at Enlighten_India_Magazine.